Let's design a system that takes long videos from YouTube or anywhere or from a recording and turns them into clips, short clips that are likely to go viral. I mean, in this age of TikTok and YouTube Shorts, you need those short videos that are capturing the audience, and basically, yeah. So let's start. Obviously, we have to start with the front end. You're going to forgive me for this is going to be a rough sketch. So we start with the front end. Obviously, you have to make your front end look good and all that. So we're just going to name this front end. So any good front end has to go through an API gateway for authentication and all that. So let's put our API gateway here. In this demo, we'll be using AWS for most of our resources, but for the API gateway, you can use whichever API gateway you prefer. So we'll just leave that open for now. So when our user uploads a long video, so here we'll say upload long videos. We want to store this in an S3 bucket. Like I said, we'll be using AWS resources, so let's store this in a S3 bucket. Remember to name it in a way that makes sense to you. Again, this is just a demo. So preferably you'd want to be streaming these, not storing them anywhere in between. When a user uploads it, just stream it directly to the S3 bucket. Then from the S3 bucket, the thought process is we want AI to be able to analyze your videos, right? But in what format are we going to give AI those videos? So my best thought was we should be giving AI videos in the format of text, in terms of let AI sample through the text inside the video. So for my architecture, I'm going to take this video. To make my life easier, I'm going to convert this video to audio. So in here, I'm going to add a video processor, or rather, I'll just name it video to audio processor. Like I said, this is for video to audio processor. Sorry. Who knows a shortcut to make this tick? It's really annoying. So for my video to audio processor, in between here, or rather I want my video to audio processor to run on AWS too. So what I'm going to do is, obviously this whatever is on this bucket is going to come to this video to audio processor. So this video to audio processor will be lambda. I prefer it to be a lambda function because again, this is not for mass production or anything yet. So I was thinking that we use a lambda function here. Sorry about that. So the lambda function we will use FFmpeg or whatever it is that you call it, to convert the video to audio. My apologies. Then, to make sure that we don't have many points of failure, I'm going to be storing every product of every stage in a different bucket. So that's why you saw me put this bucket down here. So from the lambda, after it's converted my video to audio, I'm going to store it in a bucket. Again, name it in a unique way. And then, so now here I have audio, right? So here now we have audio. Then, so in case there's a point of failure in here, you can literally just come here and check between my upload video and my audio bucket video, is everything working fine? And if it's working fine, then we go to the next step, which will be converting this audio to transcripts. Like I said, we'll be using AWS resources. So for my conversion, I'll be using AWS Transcribe. If you're still on the free tier, then they should not be expensive. But if you're not, you better tread carefully here. So let's put transcribe there. From these audio buckets to transcribe. Transcribe will take the audio. The reason why I preferred to convert from video to audio first is because I don't want to give transcribe files that are too huge, that are going to mess anything up. So I prefer giving these as audio because the files will be smaller, and I'll tell my Lambda to give me really small files to make sure that I'm not overloading transcribe and paying too much for this. So yeah, once I have this, then I'm going to have my transcript. So this is where AI comes in. So I'm going to use Amazon Bedrock to choose an AI model that I can give custom instructions. Custom in what way? I want to be able to tell it, I've given you this transcript, this is what the person in the video is talking about, or this is what the video is about. So now I want you as an AI to go through this video and this transcript, and tell me, based on this transcript, which part is likely to go viral. And then the good thing about transcribe is it gives you a transcript that has timestamps. So having a transcript that has timestamp is going to come in handy later, and you'll see why. So again, like I said, let's store each step has to be stored in its own S3 bucket to make debugging this easier for me. So I'm going to store this here. That is the transcript that AI gives me that tells me use this part and this part. It's going to make your video go viral. So I'm going to store that there. Then, having we go back to the top. So I'm going to use the segments detected by AI and create another process here. I'm just going to just use it as a process, sorry. And just call it a kata. So what this kata is going to do is it's going to take those segments given to me by AI and cut them into segments as given by the AI, because the AI gave me timestamps and I have the original video that was stored here. So I'll take the original video from here and give it to my kata. So let me just call this kata. So let's call this kata. And what's it going to be using to know which segments to cut? The timestamps that we created down here, or the moments that we created down here. So the advantage of all of this is, again, I'm going to take those segments and store them in an S3 bucket because I don't want problems when debugging this. So I'm going to put this in another S3 bucket. Forgive my layout, I'll clean it up later. So let's take those moments that have been cut by the AI and put them in a bucket. Again, name them in a way that you'll be able to debug how far did my video get. So after those segments have been cut, I want to be able to preview these segments in my front end. So I'm going to take this, and through the API, which, so help me God, I don't know where it is. Yes, so I'm going to take this. Sorry. I'm going to take this. And take it here. You can see my line properly. 4. I'm going to name this preview or download. So I want to be able to preview or to download the segments as generated by AI. Then I also want to be able to have the option to optimize these segments for either TikTok or YouTube. I want, or Instagram in that case, to be able to have 16 by 9 or 9 by 16. So I'll take these and again take them to an optimizer here. That clearly needs to be enlarged because I can't see nothing. I don't know, this will look better in the final diagram. So let's call this, let's call this our optimizer. Optimizer. Yeah, and let's make this visible a little bit. And And again, I want to be able to see these optimized. Obviously, after optimization, we need to store them in a bucket somewhere. Again, CI/CD rules. We need to make these as easy to debug as possible. So again, take this, put this in a bucket, probably call it the final output. And again, through the API, I want this to go back to my front end. Good morning, API. There. Again, to my front end. And yeah, so that's what our system will look like. Oh, turned out to be quite good actually. Not as bad as I thought, not as messy as I thought we had made it. So yeah, so we'll be able to upload any long videos, and without using, I think the whole idea of this process was not to use too many resources and not to make it too expensive. So for this kata, you can either use Lambda, or you can either use, let me just put it here just in case. Yeah, for this you can either use Lambda if you prefer, or you can use an ECR. But again, like I said, I don't want this to be such an expensive affair. So for me, I'd rather use an ECR and not create an EC2 for just, clipping videos. And again, use FFmpeg, or however you call it. And for the optimizer, let's just put ECR here, but again, you can use whichever one is easier for you. So after I created this myself, I found that the Lambda, it was having to upload a video to Lambda was making the whole process really slow. So I used an ECR, and again here I used Kubernetes. And yeah, why did I use an ECR instead of an EKS? Again, cost optimization, and I just preferred using an ECR because for me it's easier to play around and install what I need to install, FFmpeg, and to install any other thing that I would need to use. So what do you think? Tell me if you think this is a good architecture, and let me show you the final product. So I created the final product and put it on clippedviral.com. Again, this is not secure yet. Make sure you use CDN if doing this on AWS for HTTPS. And yeah, so this was my final front end. As you can see, I have two options. You upload a video and let AI decide, or you use custom instructions where you can tell the AI to either find moments where I explain the main concept, or look for emotional or surprising or whatever, or just let AI decide for you. So I'll upload a video. Let's call it, I had downloaded a video from the Diary of a CEO, this, and we start AI analysis. So like I said in the beginning, when you're uploading, let this go through a streaming process. And because I didn't want to pay for a system that I would be using too much, so this might take a few minutes. As it uploads, let me give you a quick look of what the idea or what the video was about.
Can you take me on that journey and tell me where we are now? And in terms, so alcohol.
Yes.
There's, I mean, alcohol's been on a journey.
Yes.
It's been on a journey in terms of society's opinion about it. Can you take me on that journey and tell me where we are now? And in terms, when I'm saying that, I'm talking about society's opinion on its health benefits and what it is. And
So as you can see, it's just a video about alcohol and how men and women are affected by alcohol. So as I was creating this system, as you can see, it's already processing my video. So as I was creating this system, let me tell you something. It tested my patience in so many ways, because sometimes I would upload the video and the part where you saw that would take the moments from the AI and combine them with the video to avoid giving AI the actual video. Oh, sometimes it would take time. So those are some of the challenges that I went through. If you used the same architecture as I did, or you changed some parts of it, I'd like to know in the comments down below. So yeah, let's wait for the final output and see if it actually makes sense. So like we said, it's for long videos. So as you can see, this video was 23 minutes and 26 seconds. So yeah, let's wait for the final output and see how long it will have taken and what the final product will be. So it's taken around I lost count. Let me just be honest. I stopped monitoring it too closely. But I see that AI clipped 2 clips for me, clip 1 and clip 2, and as you can see, I have the options to download, reprocess if I'm not happy with it, or create platform videos. So I can leave that doing that, where it will be merging the TikTok videos. Oh, it already did in 16 by 9, or in 16 by 9 for Instagram, or 9 by 16 for TikTok. So let's see what AI's idea of viral looks like.
It was never really about health. At some point, we started talking about this as something that is good for your health, like drink red wine, it's going to improve your health. And that's where I think we got wrong. So first, I think we think of this as a relatively modern thing, but archaeologists have discovered like beer making equipment in hunter gatherers' cave dwellings from 13,000 years ago.
I think that's quite fair, considering that I think for the first video, the whole concept was debunking the whole idea that alcohol is healthy for you, and the second one was telling us something that we didn't know. So I think that's quite fair, and as you can see, you have the option to download them and post them on TikTok or wherever. So obviously this needs some refining here and there to tell AI what kind of viral moments will end all that. But I think so far so good, and we can leave a review. So you can test it out on my you can test out the whole idea on my clip2viral.com, or you can create your own and tell me how it goes, or if you have any pointers or any ideas of how to make this even a better system, kindly leave a comment. And thanks for watching, and subscribe.